I know what I want him to talk about on Did We Miss Anything?
Great.
So we're just going to take some time.
Wait, I want to get one little thing in there.
This is it.
Oh,
it's
is
the
it?
same thing.
Is this the same thing?
The ultra marathon.
Yes. Come on.
Okay. So talk us about like running. Just you. So you are you still marathoning?
I am.
Okay.
I am. I love to run, and I fell in love with running in high school. And
Were you like on cross country or?
I was.
Like okay.
Yeah, I was on cross country. Basically, not by choice. I played football and then realized that we all had a disagreement with the coach, and so a bunch of us just ditched and went into cross country, not knowing what we were getting into. But
you are like this counterculture revolutionary. There's something anti-establishment in you, isn't there? Honestly.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
You do know that.
I won't tell Hal.
Well,
I'm sure Hal knows all too well.
If you look at the history of Whatcom County, and specifically even some of the places where I grew up, it was all independent thinkers that this was their last stop. And so the top left corner, there's something,
even Western Washington has a like the university has an ongoing sort of, they've got the red square in the thing, and so no, that's So okay, marathoning though, go.
So I love to run, and I learned early on. I'm dyslexic, and I'm probably ADD. I just don't like to admit it. But to run is to worship. And so as I'm taking steps, that is my time to process, to work with God. And so I track my mileage. I track the percentage of the year that I have ran, so that I'm looking at it from a percent standpoint of, even when I was pastoring, I tell my board members, if you don't see me running in the neighborhood, you need to call me on it, because that's my alone time. But there's nothing better than just listening to the sound of the ground. You go run all around the world, and that's how you learn culture. That's how you learn people. You learn the smells. You see the ecology. You run from rabid dogs. You wave to a farmer. You run down a mountain in Kenya in a village that hasn't seen a white guy, or at least white legs like that ever, and you scare them, and then they wave at you, and it pushes you to do something that perhaps you didn't think you could do. So my next race on the calendar is the Bigfoot 200, and that is around Mount St. Helens in August.
So you'll be out here.
Yeah, so in August.
Okay, so we need to hook up. Yeah.
Yeah, so the Bigfoot 200, it's 207 miles, and you have 107 hours to do it. So it's kind of a glorified run.
So do you camp and overnight, or are you going? You're not going nonstop, right?
No, you eat along the way. So once you move into the ultra world, it's a different mindset. You're running to survive and to keep going. So I'm not. That's running how I run.
That's the only reason I would ever run, is to survive. Like
as long as you can run faster than the guy in front of you, and the bear
I don't have to be
chasing.
faster than the bear. I just have to be faster than you. I understand.
That's right. But yeah, your mindset changes a little bit. So even the most elite ultra runners are probably on a trail or walking some of the time. They're eating a sub sandwich at mile 30. Where in the marathon and below, you're not doing that. You're going to the end. In ultra, it's the really long run, and you take it all in.
Yeah, and it's about like you're doing the calorie math probably in your head, and how much you're burning versus how much you're consuming. But do you stop like sleep and overnight and then pick up the next day and keep running, or is it
at the Bigfoot 200, when I've done the 100 milers, then the longest I'll stop is maybe 20 minutes. On the 200 mile, they have a 6-hour nap station at 2 or 3 state places. So they've got doctors, you can take a nap, but you can't sleep more than 6 hours.
I would take a nap after about 2 or 3 miles, I think.
Everywhere is within walking.
I can only take one. I can only stand 1 miles.
Well, you just work to it. You can
Let
get
alone
there.
200 of them. His name is Miles. So that was my joke.
I saw that.
I can only put up with 1 miles.
You're ridiculous.
So no, I love it. It's nerdy. I mean, it is. Yeah, you're balancing calories. You're balancing my pace. You're always looking at it, and in the end, when you get into those long runs, a lot of times you're chasing the cutoff. So that kind of becomes that competitive edge where, no, I'm never going to be elite, but I'm trying to make that 7-hour cutoff. I'm trying to make that 12-hour cutoff.
Yeah.
So that I
You're
don't get
elite.
a
You're
DNF.
elite.
Yeah, I don't know
what are you
what-
talking
in
about.
what
You're
world
not
you're
elite.
not
Bro,
elite.
you're running ultra marathons and a 200. They get
Put
ultra
yourself,
at one.
no. There's those who are built completely different than I am. I'm just tenacious and won't give
That's
up.
crazy. So have you've run a marathon on every continent but Antarctica, right? Is that you?
I've ran on every continent. I haven't. I have not been able to run a marathon on every continent.
Have you been on Antarctica?
No, except for
okay.
Antarctica, and then
There's no soil there. That's why.
Maybe there.
Oh, there's soil there. Don't get me started on. You just got to dig deep enough to. Who knows what else is down
Why
there?
haven't we done
That's
these
exactly
episodes
right.
yet?
Because we are not that
Why
podcast.
aren't we?
If you want me to get Graham Hancock
just
on here,
said
we can go.
Bigfoot.
We could switch that. Yeah, don't get me started on Graham Hancock. That guy,
That ancient civilization.
the ancient apocalypse
Yeah, or-
guy.
yeah, yeah.
I
I
love
know
that
watched that
guy.
stuff, but-
That's the closest conspiracy theory. I'd be like, this guy's onto something.
Or maybe go to Jules Verne a little bit too.
Right? He had us going to the moon and to the journey to the center of the earth. Jules Verne. Anyway, all right.
Was
He's
that
French? That's yeah. So I remember one time you did a marathon, but it was literally on a track, so you just kept running on the track like 1,000 times or something like that. I'm like, because we talked about it and like you were trying to get me to do like a half. Like you were like, I can get you to a half. I can get you to a half. But then he told me about this one marathon where they just ran one track like for.
That's
they
insane.
do it. There's all kinds of those races that are all over.
Do you still have any of your field notes notebooks?
I have them all.
Like
The ones that I got from
Head.
the ones that I had from you, they actually sit on my bookshelf.
Look at that.
So-
See, I really do have friends, everyone. I want people, I do know people, and I
It
have
is
friends.
true. No.
Before we started the episode, you mentioned you summited Baker a couple times.
Did you run up?
I did not. I have tried.
Have you done trail running, like trail marathoning and that kind of stuff? Have you ever tried that?
Yes, yeah. Most of my, like the Bigfoot 200 is that way.
I guess it would be a trail, yeah.
There's a 50K in my backyard. Not in my backyard, but a mile over.
Dude, I
I was about to
honestly,
say, we're talking
I
about the
could see
loops
you
and everything. I was
sponsoring
like,
a 50K literally in your backyard in North Springfield.
But no.
With 6 kids, you're like, don't kick a kid when you're running fast.
Yeah, I have, in the name of childcare and being a good husband, I have lately embraced the treadmill a little bit. And so I'll put on a documentary for the kids and I'll run on the treadmill. So
All right. And now you've got a great podcast to listen to. So
I know, I'm excited.
yeah. Anything? I know Rainier was
go ahead. You
almost
wanna-
made it to Summit Rainier, and then someone on your team started coughing up blood, which
He did.
can happen.
Yeah. And we didn't realize how out of it we were. We were all pastors and we'd all trained at sea level. So we were all on the West Coast and we drove to Puyallup. So we all preached until, on Wednesday night, because, I'm that old. And you finish Wednesday night and then we all drove like 3 to 5 hours to Puyallup, left the next morning off a 2-hour sleep and made it to base camp, Camp Muir, and then just took right off. And so we weren't acclimated, and we got to 14.2, and we were ready to let him off the rope. He's like, just leave me here, leave me here.
And you're like, you're
Bro, that's
right.
a
The
scary-
goal is better.
That's
Leave
a
him.
scary-
He'll
scariest
be
thing.
back. He'll be able to be
To,
just fine. And then when we got down, those guys climbed Mount Adams 2 weeks later, and they called me from the top of Mount Adams, which is 12, a little over 12, and they're like, we were so out of it on Rainier. We were ready to make some pretty dumb choices.
That's terrifying because Everest is 2 Rainiers.
Yeah.
So you climb Mount Rainier and then you climb it all over again. Would you do Everest if you had the chance?
That's a great question.
No.
it's not worth
I
it.
think after
Number one, it's a coin flip if you're going to make it back. Like it's literally
Correct.
50%. Like it's literally a coin flip survival rate.
Yeah. After I had started having kids, Mary asked me not to risk my life on mountains. So that's when I started really running ultras.
That's fair. If you're going to risk it at the bottom, not at the top.
True.
You can be rescued a lot easier at the
Exactly.
bottom of a mountain than at the top of
That
it.
is exactly
There
true.
aren't many crevasses opening up beneath you, and when
no.
you're on this level. So
You are you doing or leading any trips in the next year and a half?
It
Like
is
if a
the
colleague ever
potential is
wanted
there.
to do a little missional tourism, you know?
Yeah, I would say if we plan for 2026, we can make that happen. We've got a couple that we want to take some ag people, some ag stakeholders into some of the communities that we've worked. So yes, we could 100% work it out in 2026. In 2 weeks, I'm in Madagascar for a week, so that should be fun.
Oh man, with Prince Julian, it's gonna be great.
King Julian.
King Julian, I'm sorry.
Julian.
Yes.